We ready? Want to do a tech check and make sure that everyone can see me. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome. Right, welcome Christmas. Welcome to the Christmas board meeting. We're going to keep it short and sweet. There's not a lot of things happening in today's meeting, but we've got a lot of things to talk about. Nonetheless, today is December the 12th. The time is currently 6:04. And Patty, do you have the time jotted down as 6:04 for the minutes, please? We're getting a thumbs up from Patty. Tonight, what we're going to do is we are going to call a board meeting. We will have the members. We've met quorum. We will do a short introduction about the board, and we will talk about, other things. But yeah, as you open, we are going to do quick introductions. We've got our Vice President, Nicole, here. And this is Nicole. Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole. Last name is Hurt. And I am the Vice President. Thank you so much, Nicole. We've got our Secretary, Patty. Hello. Oh, my turn. Sorry. Oops. Is it me? Do I start? Do I give my report? No, Patty, you're just introducing yourself. Steve is saying who you are, what your role is. Hi there, everyone. Good evening. My name is Patty, and I am the secretary. Thank you. Yep, she is our secretary. Great. Next up, this is Steve Longo. Let's go ahead and spotlight our treasurer, Anna. Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Anna Vernig. I am your treasurer. This is Steve. Thank you so much, Anna. And we've got our member at large. We've got 3 people. One, unfortunately, is having an emergency, and 2 of them are on the way to a meeting and will be joining us later on. So we've got 3 board members currently not here, but we do meet the quorum requirements so that we can go ahead and proceed and continue with our meeting tonight. One thing I forgot to tell you was who I am. My name is Steve Longo, and I'm the board president. And then we've got Patty saying hi there. This is Patty. Jessica is here. And you can see Christian has joined the session as well. Steve Longo is saying thank you so very much. So we've got a quorum. We will go ahead and proceed. Let's go ahead and check the agenda for this evening. I will give a few seconds to look at that. If we need to make any changes or amendments, we can do that. Have a motion and then move it to approval. I will go ahead and share screen. Bear with me 1 second while I post that agenda. You can see there, we've got a couple items on our agenda. This is Steve. Okay. We will give it about 20 seconds before we take this down. Thank you very much. And that is our agenda for this evening. Just kind of basic on what to expect in terms of reports, what's been happening. One thing we do have to do under our old business that we have not yet completed is we do need to move forward with that specific item. And other than that, is there anything from the board in terms of the agenda? What do you guys think? Nicole has her hand up. 1 second while we spotlight Nicole. Hi there, this is Nicole speaking. Yes, I just want to make sure because we weren't able to read the agenda. In terms of old business, does that go to the voting that we need to do in terms of our 1-year extension for our term? Is that the old business? Thank you so very much for that clarification. Steve is saying yes, and Nicole saying great. Thank you. 2 thumbs up. Anything else from the board that we need to clarify or amend? Any motion to approve? I need a motion to approve. Patty is raising her hand saying, I would like to make a motion to approve. Any oppositions? I see none. This motion is passed. Let's go ahead and go to the first item on the agenda. Patty just sent saying give us 1 minute from the minutes from the October meeting. Hopefully everyone has taken time to read that. Do we need to display that briefly for anyone here? And then what we can do is we can clarify any questions or comments and then make a motion to approve the minutes from the October meeting. Bear with me 1 moment as I share that. This is the secretary report. This is the minutes from the October meeting. No, we don't need the secretary's report right now, just point of clarification. This is a secretary report, but we need the minutes from the October meeting. And Steve is responding to Rosemary saying these are from October. And there's some confusion as to, are these the minutes or is this the secretary report? So this is the secretary report from October, but we do need the official minutes from the meeting from October. Is anyone asking for clarification? Did I see a hand? Does anyone have any questions? Was that the right document? And Patty has her hand up. Just 1 second. This is Patty speaking. Sorry, this is a report for this evening. That was my report that I planned on sharing. I had the wrong date on there. I do apologize. So Steve is asking, is that the report? Does anything need to change? And Patty saying, yes, that is my report for this evening. Should I post the correct minutes in the chat? There's some clarification with our deaf interpreters, trying to get Steve's attention, and we are good. Taking a read at that really quickly. That document was shared in your chat. There needs to be an amendment to the date, but other than that, everything else is fine. Patty has her hand up again. This is Patty speaking. I do apologize. I need to clarify. So the minutes and the date is fine. However, my secretarial report for tonight's meeting needs to change the date. However, the minutes from the meeting that happened last October, one thing I do need to add is Jessica. She was present, so I need to count her attendance in that, and I did add that to the updated document. Steve is saying 1 second while I check that. Okay. I apologize. I was looking at the secretary report and called it the minutes, but then I found the correct document. So I do apologize. That was an error. Apologies, everyone here, for the confusion. Let me go ahead and share the minutes. so much. Done with that. Okay. Minutes have been amended. I went ahead and made some changes. Bear with me 1 second while I share screen just one more time for everyone here. If you look, you can see the name, and we've got Jessica's name there now. We are missing Jessica's last name, so make sure that Jessica has been added. I will go ahead and scroll down to the rest of the agenda items in the minutes. Got someone with their hand up, just 1 second. Let's go ahead and stop sharing before we have that comment being shared. We're going to go ahead and finish sharing this document. Yeah, keep scrolling. Got other reports on here. Got the vice president report. We've got the secretary's report. You see item 6. The executive director's report. Still scrolling. This document. We have a item under old business that was from our last meeting in October in regards of the bylaws. We did make an amendment to those bylaws. And then before we go ahead and discuss, we will stop sharing this. We talked about VDF as well as a new business item. And this states that the bid was already approved. If you look at item 8, letter C, bids. And then their comment was, please stop sharing so that I can see. Great. I know there was not a whole lot that we talked about last meeting, but any motions to approve the amended minutes? This is Nicole. Yes, hi. Looks good, but one thing I did notice was that Jessica's name was missing a last name, and that needs to be added, and I'm not sure exactly what her last name is. Jessica, if you maybe want to put that in the chat. I'm not sure about your last name, but I think we need to get that added. And Steve is saying, yes, we were planning to do that. We were kind of in a hurry, so we finished everyone's last name and sent out those minutes. But we've got Patty who has her hand up. 1 second for a spotlight. This is Patty speaking. So yeah, I have a Google Doc, and the Google Doc has the corrected minutes with Jessica's first name, as well as I noticed that there was one part that said not minutes approved, it said agenda approval, and then under that it was supposed to say minutes approved, but it didn't say that. It just said agenda approved. So we do need to change the words from agenda to minutes. And then later on there was that item with Jessica, but we needed to add Jessica as well as Christian's name, or well, Jessica was present in that meeting, so that needs to be added for attendance purposes. Steve is saying, yes, we will go ahead and use your minutes, not my minutes. We will follow Patty's secretarial minutes, and then I need a motion to approve that. And Patty will go ahead and send you her version. I was just kind of showing you a basic document, but I need a motion to approve. We have Anna Vernig saying move to approve. Any oppositions? Okay, this motion is passed. Thank you so much. Oh, this is Steve talking. Now we need the secretary's report. Should we go ahead and read that? Should I share screen again? And this is the deaf interpreter saying timeout 1 second, while we do a quick switch of our deaf interpreters. This is Steve saying that motion has passed. We did share the secretary minutes. Would you like me to share them again? I just shared it a while ago. Would anyone here like to see it again? Patty, is there anything you would like to add to that report? Okay, it is all good. That was our secretary's report. We will go ahead and move on. President's report. Bear with me 1 second. It is 1 page, and I tried to keep my report short and sweet. I didn't want to have something too lengthy out there, so I tried to minimize it as much as possible for you all. This has been updated. All right, this is Steve. So that is my report. That's kind of it in summary. We've had 3 different fundraisers. We had Valley Deaf Festival. What we saw was a lot better than what we had last year in comparison. From a board perspective, I think we did much better. Thank you so much to Anna and all of her help. There were such great improvements. The iPad was a great success. There was one more thing that we had 2 iPads. Things seemed to be a lot faster, and that was a huge change to the process, using the iPads to help. And I thought that was a really critical part of Valley Deaf Fest. Having the front desk there in the beginning where, in the past was fine, but adding more later on might be a great idea. I think it's great to have the dual iPads because I personally think it was just a great success. I noticed that was not too high of attendance. Obviously, it rained that day, as well as there was a World Timber Fest as well. And so there was a show happening, which did reduce our attendance as well, I believe. I think half people showed up than what they did last year. So the rain was no help. The World Timber Fest was no help. And it rained almost every night that week, which was terrible. But, things happen. And we didn't get a lot of responses, but it is what it was. And I think it was still a really successful event, and we will have Michelle respond to that in terms of what she thinks about VDF and her perspective. But next year, what we're thinking about is moving it to a smaller building to cut down costs, because we aren't seeing a increase in numbers. We're actually seeing a decrease. So maybe, I think it was maybe about 1,000 people in attendance. Oh, I hit the wrong key and I'm getting the weirdest pop-ups. But yeah, it was about up to 1,000 people. So I think it's better that we find a room that suits up to 1,000 people, maybe utilizing a smaller building. A big building is great, and maybe once we boost attendance, we can then transition back to that building. But in terms of saving money and things like that, that would be the goal for next year. But that is my report tonight. Next person up, we've got the Vice President's report. I will go ahead and share that report, and then what I will do is spotlight the Vice President. Any questions about the President's report? And let me go ahead and share screen for the Vice President's report. And this is Nicole. Hello, everyone. Let me go ahead and give my Vice President's report. We've got Rosemary saying timeout, 1 second. For the switch, thank you so much. We changed our deaf interpreters. Hello, everyone. Yay, we're here. It's December. Finally, we are in the last month of our year. We did meet, and there was a lot happening and has been happening. And so what we're going to do is we've been focusing on planning and preparing for that Valley Deaf Festival that Steve was just talking about. We had 2 meetings before Valley Deaf Fest to kind of talk and plan and fine tune everything before we finally had the Deaf Festival. We had food provided. Anna, again, thank you so much for spearheading and taking on that responsibility for us and for the board and all of the staff, and just so much coordination and showing up to meetings. The staff were there. We had Susan there. Susan's last name is Culture, and thank you. We had other people there, and we had Anna working closely together to make sure that the board was in the know about everything in terms of preparation, and they were kind of our go-to people. And we purchased an iPad to help with orders. Having the second iPad would be ideal because one is not enough, so we can then maybe have 2 lines instead of having one person waiting in line just because we have one iPad, and then you have to pay. And so these are all things that we are preparing for in terms of next year's Valley Deaf Fest. We did notice that we could make some improvements in a lot of different areas. Bear with me as I check my notes. Okay. Thank you so much again, Anna, for all your preparedness and just all of your hard work. This is for your first time. That was just a huge responsibility. And Anna's like, you are so welcome. Yeah, it was just a huge part of what you did and taking care of so many things. Another thing we did is we want to talk about Giving Tuesday. The board did decide to join with DHHSC against a challenge and a contest to see who could raise more funds. And we raised over $300. We have Michelle Bronson here with us this evening who will give that report, but that was our first time joining on Giving Tuesday, and it was great. Christian did help set up the Panda Express event with us, and I'm not sure how much we raised, but we will find out those numbers. First fundraiser that we did was we partnered with Panda Express, and that was a huge success. Again, over $300. And I'm not sure about the second or third event, but we will see. And then we have got Christian who will give us more details on that for fundraising. 2 months ago, we had a special meeting with Michelle to talk about costs regarding repairing the building, the actual DHHSC headquarters. There is a huge need for a lot of renovations and improvements. We took a look around, we were given a lot of information, and we decided that we will approve for that Giving Tuesday money. Hopefully we will achieve the goal we have set. We are really excited. We need a little bit more money, and we just will meet that goal. But then we can go ahead and start those renovations and improvements to the DHHSC building. But thank you so much to each and every person here who has donated, who has sponsored, who has supported us for that cause. In terms of business, the last 2 months, well, again, we are soon going to be done with the December. And wait, we do need to set up a new date and time and schedule meetings for next year. We will go ahead and meet and talk and see what times work best for everyone for the year 2024 for that cycle. And once we have all that information, we will get you informed. So please keep an update on our website. Soon we will have all of those meetings set. Mark your calendars and save the dates for all of our meetings. Lastly, on my report is next year, we have our 40th anniversary. And I want to say it's in summer. Michelle's nodding her head. Yes, we have our gala happening in the summer, and we need to pick someone from the board who will then lead and partner with the DHHSC staff. I'm not sure which member here is able to support in that gala in terms of preparing and partnering with DHHSC, but we are excited, and that is my report. And I wish you all the best, merriest Christmas, and of course, a happy new year. And take care and stay safe, everyone. That is all for me. Okay, and we've got our deaf interpreter saying, or excuse me, we've got Steve saying, any questions for Nicole? We need $8,000 to cover the cost for the building renovations. This is Steve Longo talking, and we are almost to that goal. We need, I don't know, I think we need about $3,000. Hopefully with the work of more fundraisers, we can achieve that goal, to just fundraise and get money and support where we can. I think the last time, this is Steve, I think in terms of the Panda Express event, that was a pretty good event. It was really busy. It wasn't too busy. We maybe picked the wrong time, but I think moving forward, we know what time slot to use now. But thank you so much, Nicole, our Vice President, Nicole, for that amazing report. You covered so many of the things that I missed. So go team. All right, we've got our secretary's report, and I want to just double check. Has everyone already read that? And we've got our deaf interpreter saying, can you please switch interpreters? 1 second while we switch deaf interpreters. And we will go ahead. This is Steve Longo. We will go ahead and move on to Anna's treasurer report. If you don't mind sharing screen, I think that's a lot faster, and then it just saves time. If we display that treasurer report for everyone to read. 1 second while I share screen, Steve is saying. I don't want any of this stuff to be information to be too overwhelming, Emma is saying. Let me go ahead and open that document. This is just a document being scrolled for the treasurer report. And I'm going to go ahead and stop share. Anna, is there anything you would like to add? Yes, I'm going to make sure everyone had a second to read that. This is Anna speaking. I just wanted to share briefly. I really, really enjoyed working, well, not exactly new, but with the new staff. I really enjoyed working with Cindy a lot. Different perspectives on how to process and do things was a huge event doing VDF, and just learning so much along the way throughout the process. I really enjoy working with her, and I would love that to be mentioned and notated, that I love having her with us. Thank you so much, and again, happy holidays, everyone. Steve is saying yes. We have a question for Anna's report. And this is President Steve speaking. Let's go ahead and wrap this up and give the floor to our executive director, Michelle Bronson. And Michelle saying, I will go ahead and sign. This is Michelle speaking. I know that we don't have a lot of time left. We've only got about 23 minutes, so I will keep things short and sweet. And we've got our deaf interpreter saying just 1 second while we do a quick switch. This is Michelle speaking. First off, I know that we want to know more about Valley Deaf Festival. Valley Deaf Festival, was a huge success overall. People's comments and feedback were great. They had a great time. It was a pretty good event. It was a beautiful event. The numbers were lower, right? And it could be for various reasons. The cost, I know that it wasn't a cheap event to go to, and it was an expensive event to host. However, we do have ideas for next year already on how to reduce those costs for attendees. The weather was another one, right? Unfortunately, it did rain that day, and obviously with California people, this is nothing compared to people in Oregon who are just used to rainy days, rainy weeks, even rainy months. But here, one droplet falls and everyone's like, oh no, I'm not going outside. Another reason was it was, on a specific weekend that may have conflicted with holidays. That was a lot, as well as in terms of availability, right? There was a lot of conflicts in terms of September and October and November. So it was better to have things on that weekend and keep that specific date that we had. However, good news is we did make a profit. It wasn't a lot of profit, but a profit is better than nothing. I think it was about $5,000 in profit after all of the expenses overall. And keep in mind, in our previous years, our profit was anywhere between $4,000 to $7,000. And with the numbers low, and we profited $5,000, that's a win in my book. That is a successful number. So keeping that in mind, saving the date for next year, what we're going to do is we also want to thank all of our sponsors that we had. We had some new sponsors help us out, which is great. We had donors. We also had deaf people who came just to support the event. We had our performer, Rensa, who was there, Rensa Dunn, and she was fantastic. Before COVID, she had about 1,500. We would have about 1,500 people. Last year, we had 750 people. This year, we had 500 attendees total. However, it was kind of interesting because our food sales were similar to last year's food sales numbers, which I thought was kind of interesting. Sammy's Tacos was a hit. They still donated one plate and 50-cent tacos, and it was still the same profit as last year. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but it was good. Moving on into our Giving Tuesday. We know that we had a competition against the board members here, and the staff competed against you all. And our Giving Tuesday was about $5,000 profit, and we were thrilled about that. The staff team, most of them raised about $815. So what we did, we donated that to vacation leave as well as awards. The board, I would like to say thank you to all of you for participating in that. I mean, that was amazing. Thank you so, so much. 300. Wow. I mean, woo, top 3. That's amazing. So CDSS, they request for kind of an alignment with RFP and the RFA. And so that's going to be the first 2 weeks of January. Be on the lookout for that, and we will go ahead and submit those ASAP, because I do not want any issues for DHHSC. You know, we value them and they value us as a community. We did apply for different grants as well. Be on the lookout for those. Keep in mind, though, with the CDSS RFA was released, what we do is we're going to focus on that one, because that is our #1 priority, because it's a lot of money, and the application process can be quite lengthy. We have 3, yes, I said it correctly, 3 new staff members. So we've got Jeffrey Orpeza is a new full-timer. And then we've got 2 part-timers for Visalia. Yeah, so Jeffrey is full-time. And then we've got 2 part-timers in Visalia. We've got Gabriella, I want to make sure I get their last name right, Mendoza Calderon. We call her Gabby for short. And then we've got Carrie Coonan. She's quite tall, and so that's her name sign. They both work part-time. And Gabby works in mornings, and Carrie typically works afternoons. And we've got 1 more for Salinas, December 21st. And so we will be finding her replacement, and hopefully we will have a full staff there soon. Fingers crossed. We just need 1 more person to interview next week. And because, I mean, obviously it's busy with agencies right now, and the RFAs are due soon. We do have a Harmonia, and that person is someone that was with us last year, but they're going to be helping us temporarily as an accountant and helping us catch up with billing and accounts payable and things like that. And so hopefully we'll have that person, Tony, come help us every year. In terms of our agency update, we've got Valley Deaf Festival, and yeah, I think it's a great idea to go with a smaller building. And I would say less props, right? Less decorations, which is fine, right? The stage is great, but one challenge is the vendors like the big building, because we've had record numbers in there before. So now moving to a smaller building means less vendors maybe. And so there are pros and cons to all of this. So who, you know, it's like first come, first serve kind of a thing. But one thing to be on the lookout for is maybe we can cut the costs as well. If we do that, maybe we will boost attendance. Lastly on my report is just talking about the holidays. Visalia had a party last Friday, and it was a huge success. We had 40 people attend. Merced hosted their party at the local mall. We had 20 people there. It was a pretty good time. Salinas will be this Saturday. So Patty as well. You're from the Salinas office. Hopefully you've got some good numbers. And Fresno, we have our event on the 20th. Come for a free lunch. But all children will get in for free. You know, we'll have food. We'll have some socials. We'll have a deaf Santa. One thing to keep in mind is the board wants to thank all of you for your support. You do such a great job with the food, especially recently, you know, just it was such a smooth and seamless process, and it was delicious too. So thank you all for all of your hard work and support for Giving Tuesday, as well as VDF and our 40th gala. I mean, we need and appreciate you all so, so much. And that is it for me. This is Steve Longo's got his hand up. I would like to add something to Steve. One thing in terms of VDF, while you were talking, our sponsors, right? Would they be willing to donate more money to help reduce the cost of attendance, to lower the ticket prices? And would that be something? So if we picked a smaller building, asked sponsors and people to donate a little bit more, would that be something that would help boost attendance, increase sales maybe, and maybe something with the kitchen? I don't know. We need to think about that a little bit, but just also, I think it'll help. It would be helpful in terms of next year. And this is Michelle here with her hand up. Really quickly, I would just like to add that one concern about that in terms of our sponsors is if we contact information might be an issue. It's kind of an uncomfortable situation because people already know that, and we don't like to do that. And so we need to try and find other sponsors who respect confidentiality, if you know what I mean. And so, point of clarification, this is the deaf interpreter. This is me, the deaf interpreter, asking, you're talking about sponsors willing to donate more money. And then DHHSC would talk about the person who named or who gave their name to donate. But, we want sponsors who respect deaf and hard of hearing services confidentiality and policy. So we want to make sure that, and this is Michelle, we do not sell client information ever. We do not give that out at all. We will try and find other sponsors for that very reason, to protect client confidentiality. And we did make sure that we fixed the kitchen first before committing to that building. So that was one thing that we did before booking that room for Valley Deaf Festival. And this is a deaf interpreter. Sorry, I'm saying this backwards again. So VDF had the kitchen repaired and confirmed that it was fixed before booking the room for VDF 2023. And this is Steve saying, okay, so is there something we can do, like maybe avoiding Thanksgiving week? Michelle saying, yeah, also Veterans Day is always an issue in November as well. So these are two different days we have to keep in mind, Thanksgiving as well as Veterans Day. But you know what? We do the best we can. And Steve is saying, oh, shucks. One more question for Michelle, or excuse me, any more questions from Michelle? And then Michelle saying, I think Christian said something in the chat, wanted to make a comment about the food. Somebody made a comment about the food. We've got Alex here. One thing regarding VDF that I wanted to mention was there was one person there who said that they loved the tacos. And they, unfortunately, they didn't like how cold the food was. And, but yeah, they said the meat was cold. If they could maybe get the food out faster. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, but that was the comment and feedback we got from Sammy's Tacos. And Steve Longo is saying, hi, I'd like to talk about that. Yeah, last year was actually worse. Last year, we had people waiting for such a long time. There were a lot of complaints about cold food. This year, food was being served a lot faster. And so thankfully, we wanted everyone to have hot food. But, by the time maybe you walk around, your food got a little bit cold or, but and that was our fault, right? And we need to be a little bit more efficient. Like when someone gave us their number, we'd give them food right away, because a taco is an open dish item and it can get cold quite quickly. So when you think about that and how cold it was and the elements and things like that, those are things to keep in mind. Making sure that we are watching the time and the numbers to ensure efficiency when it comes to selling and serving food. Michelle Bronson is saying, I know we only have 10 minutes left. We are on a 10-minute countdown. Michelle, thank you so much for your report. Round of applause for you. Yay. If we can go ahead and switch deaf interpreters, please. Now what we're going to do is we are going to talk about the fundraising report. We talked about Panda Express. Christian, we did share some numbers. Is there anything you wanted to add?
We didn't reach the
Christian,
fundraising
one
goal.
second for the interpreter. Sorry. If you guys don't mind spotlighting.
Sorry. We needed more. We had half. Is half a big middle? Half. Sorry, now voice. We had half of the amount needed to qualify for a return. So we made $80 in sales, but we needed to make 150. I think it was distracting to have Giving Tuesday and the fundraiser. I thought it might be fun to do both if you couldn't do one, but I think it got lost.
This is Steve talking. Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead.
There are multiple places that have an individual location, and I can send a list of them that we can decide on later for a single event location, but we want to be smart about which day we pick so that we make sure that a lot of us can attend, or it's an easy day for many people to attend. That's all. Thank you. I'll send that list out later.
And Nicole has her hand up. If you just hold on 1 second while we spotlight Nicole. This is Nicole saying, yes, thank you so much, Christian. That was a great idea. Yeah, wonderful ideas about talking about a list and maybe picking things. I will go ahead and get in touch with everyone soon. Maybe we can set up an ad hoc meeting and talk about that kind of stuff, as well as maybe pick some board dates and talk about the gala and other information that we do need to take care of. So I will go ahead and get all of that. I've got a long list of running notes here. So thank you so much for that amazing report, Christian. This is Steve Longo. One thing I do want to mention is it's a great idea, right? Like maybe we picked the wrong date before because it was just, we had Giving Tuesday and we had another event happening. And so kind of like Nicole had proposed before about maybe doing different things, like maybe one Panda Express and maybe trying another restaurant. And then maybe seeing what that looks like, what numbers, and maybe just kind of experimenting essentially to see what works and what doesn't. And maybe by that, we will gain more money and turn over about a bigger profit. Nicole will go ahead and talk about that during our ad hoc meeting, and we can brainstorm when that meeting happens. Thank you so much again, Christian, for that report. Okay. Just going down the agenda here. Bear with me 1 second. Alex, anything about general comments? Anything? Just checking in. This is Steve talking, and this is Alex. Hi there, everyone. Other than the comment about Sammy's tacos being cold, there has been no other comments. That is all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alex. Moving down to old business. This is Steve. Remember, we did say under old business, we forgot to pass that one motion to extend the 1-year term for our board. So someone needs to make a motion so that we can pass that to extend the 1-year term so that we can, officially do that. So I need a motion from the floor to extend our 1-year term. We have Patty with her hand up. 1 second while we spotlight Patty. Patty is saying motion to approve. And Steve is saying you need to make a motion that we extend the 1-year term for the board term. So you need to make some kind of motion saying that, hi, this is Patty signing. I would like to make a motion to extend the 1-year term. And then we got a thumbs up from Patty. Steve Longo saying, great, yay, great signing. Okay, I need a second. I need a second. We've got Anna seconding. Any discussions? Questions? We will have a closed vote like before. This is Nicole. Oh, are we going to do a closed vote? So right now what we're going to do is we will have a closed discussion. We will vote all in favor of Patty's motion. I am in favor of the 1-year extension for the board term. Nicole has her hand up, Anna has her hand up, Steve has her hand up, Patty has her hand up, Jessica wrote in the chat, I am in favor. And we've got multiple people with their hand up. Christian, we are just waiting on a vote from you. Okay, we've got a thumbs up. Great. Sorry, I think some people were freezing. Okay, so it seems like we are all in favor of this. We call that an ACL. Great, yay! Round of applause for that motion. We have nothing under old business. I don't think we have anything under new business. Anyone have anything to discuss under new business? I don't think we have anyone here tonight to talk about new business. I need a motion to close the new business item. Okay. I need a second. I need someone to second that. Christian seconds. Any discussions? Any oppositions? Anything under announcements? All right. Hi there. This is Nicole. I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your time and your commitment. Thank you for the interpreters here. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, happy holidays to each and every one of you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And just blessings to everyone. And I can't wait to do more with you all next year. Other than that, I just want to say we've got Kristen, our interpreter, who is here. She's been hired as the full-time faculty interpreter at Fresno City College. So I want that noted that she is here and now she has a new position. So she's been promoted. So thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So Kristen has been working with the district for quite some time. And we felt that she was worthy of a full-time position. So because of that, you know, she has worked diligently and was immediately recommended for that promotion. So thank you so much to Kristen, as well as we've got some other good news. Fresno City College will start an interpreter program. So we have Amy Strobel, who is responsible as a part of that program, and she's been developing and planning more classes. So we are one of 3 programs in California. And so we've got CSUN, FCC, and Fresno State is one of the third recognized on the map as a great interpreter training program here in Fresno, and specifically Fresno City College. So we are just looking forward to fall to start these new classes with our interpreter training program. We are hoping to boost more interpreters into our profession. And so, you know, in the past, people would have to go to CSUN or travel, but you can get that all here in the Central Valley. And now, I mean, we've got that program growing. And so that means they can stay here locally. It's job security, you know, and yay, Michelle, they can work for DHHSC, right? Like that's the great news. And so great for that. Any other announcements? Okay, we're getting some comments in the chat. We have to wrap up. Oh, let me just check the time. It is 7:01, everybody. Wow, we did pretty good. We did well. I need someone to vote to close the meeting. Yeah, we move to close. Anna makes a motion to close this meeting. I need a second. Christian seconds. Thank you, Christian. And it's kind of hard to see everyone. The tiles are getting small, but all oppose? Any oppose? Oh, and the meeting is closed at 7:01. Patty, I hope you got that timestamp, 7:01. Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I look forward to, Alex, make sure that you get that recording on YouTube. If anyone who missed it, please don't hesitate to share. We can post it on the website. We can get that link posted. So make sure that people have access to that. Have a great holiday, everyone.